Hey guys, this is the general reading for Taurus for September 2020 for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. If you have significant Taurus in your chart, if you're just drawn to this reading, or if you're cross-watching, I guess for someone else who's a Taurus. If this video doesn't resonate with you or for more of a complete picture, check out the videos I've either already made or will make in the future of all of these signs, or these things I just said about if it's significant, if you're drawn to it, all that stuff. Please understand that energy is fluid, so this could happen now, it could have already happened, it could happen in the future. I could read this as love, it could be career, I could read this as you and it's someone else close to you. So just apply it where it fits. Take what fits, leave the rest. Don't make it fit if it doesn't, because some, none, or all of it may apply. Thank you so much for those of you who have inquired about donations and giving back, like the reciprocity of energy, and just for all the time I give. For those of you who are interested, the PayPal information is in the description box below. Also, thank you for those of you who have participated in services with me. I love working with you guys and connecting with your energies. If you're interested, everything again is in the description box below. Please read all of it, including the disclaimer. I do have a few services up there that I haven't put up yet. My shamanic services, so shamanic illumination, soul retrieval, destiny retrieval. Basically anything that if your energy needs to be balanced, if there's just like, if there's any cords that need to be removed, any wounds that need attention and healing, anything to be removed, anything to add, anything balanced, shadow contracts, soul retrieval, soul essences that have left that would benefit you to come back or they want to come back. Destiny retrieval is where, in case you've lost so much hope and so much trauma that you forgot what's even possible for you, it tells you what's possible as a destiny for you. Also, I do crystalline consciousness technique, which I will do a video soon on that, but it's very high frequency healing. So for anything of healing, transformation, just something you're really wanting to do and you need help healing it, whether physically or energetically, or you're just trying to go somewhere and you're just blocked and you don't know what's blocking you, or you just need help with something. CCT is amazing. It's a lot of what I've been using recently on myself. If I had it in the beginning of my awakening, it would have been, I probably would be a lot farther along right now, but it's okay. I needed to go through what I needed to go through. So if you're interested about that, whether it's a session or doing a session on a chart, let me know. And then also I do light language and private sessions with that as well. So email me if you're interested on that. It should be in my description coming up soon. And I have a lot of other things coming up soon that I'm working on, especially after I finish stabilizing myself right now. Also, if you can't donate or you can't contribute with a reading, please know that you're absolutely giving back by liking the video and commenting on the video. It takes 2 seconds. Share it, subscribe. Please make sure you're subscribed. If you already think you're subscribed, double check, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos and I'll have more coming out. And I'm also going to start going live. I already went once and I'm going to start announcing that when I'm going to do that. But some people think they're subscribed and they're not. So just double check. And that's not just my channel. Other channels have had an issue with that. So but please, that's a way of giving back to, and it takes 2 seconds. So please like the video, comment on the video. I love connecting with your guys' energies, even if I don't have time to comment on them all. So I think that's pretty much it. So I'll get started with your reading. Taurus, when I was shuffling your cards, I really got a lot of like shh energy, like quiet hush hush energy. A little bit secretive, about not saying very much. And the energy on the bottom of your deck is Four of Swords. So there is like a healing process. There's a little bit of an isolation process going on. But there's a little bit of really not saying much. Maybe healing, pulling these Three of Swords out, but you're kind of sitting on your one sword. And it's kind of a knowing what to say and what not to say, but not saying very much just because, there's a lot of energies here, just as a side note before I get going, of people around you, it's just having kind of that devil energy and moon energy, wanting to keep it away from you. It messes with your mind. It makes you feel a lack. And you really want to just more tap in with yourself and your higher self and your intuition. So you're walking away from anything that can distract you from that and that process. And it really does give you some level of awakening or enlightenment. And, you know, then you kind of look forward as to what's coming in. And I don't know if you're looking for like your soul family or a soul partner, or maybe some of you are still waiting on somebody and you're having to have strength and courage during that while you're manifesting. And going after what it is you want while you're healing. But it's like this vibe, like keep doing you, because you may even find after you do you and you heal, you may not want that anymore. Or like, I just really get the vibe somebody's really watching you, maybe even having a different perspective about you, but they're also watching your shift in perspective and moving forward. And some of you, they may also feel you slipping away and not want you to slip away. And they may like do or say or like come forward just to stop you from pulling away or healing beyond them. It doesn't look like at this point that this whole reading, just by the way, is not going to be about somebody else, for those of you who are not interested in that. It's just a side note. Whatever they're doing is literally just to keep you focused on them, or you stopping from growing, or to be able to keep getting from you whatever they want, just as a little side note. So just keep going, because you do have someone watching you, which does come up later in your reading. But in the center of your reading, you have the King of Swords. So, you know, this really kind of confirms that whole like not saying anything. You know, the King of Swords is very much like knowing what to say, knowing what not to say, being very logical about it, and really not in a way in this situation, I don't feel in a way that's, you know, you're not in your body or whatever, or you're too logical. I think it's just that you're really doing so much healing and self-reflection at this point that you're just, this is where you need to be to handle things smartly. On top of it, let's face it, for any Tauruses, with Uranus just having gone retrograde, it's an intense electrical energy. So right now, more than ever, and if you don't know that, here's a little FYI, you really need to be doing things that are grounding you right now and really taking care of your body. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, make sure you're taking all your supplements you need to take, make sure you're eating healthy, low inflammatory food. Just really listen to your body intuitively and what it needs at this time. Make sure that you're moving so you can move that electrical energy, whether it's walking. I've been doing yoga and that's been like working amazing for me. I mean, I know why I didn't do it sooner, because I wasn't in alignment with it, but part of me is like, why have I not been doing this sooner? Like, I love it now. But just please make sure you're taking care of yourself, especially drinking enough water and moving and eating good. It's very imperative for your body right now. But I think you're really just kind of like healing and taking care of you, and you're only saying what needs to be said during this time. There's just a lot changing and brewing within you, that it's like, I want to know for sure how I'm feeling and what I'm doing before I say anything. But also, it's just a very creative, abundant, building like opportunity energy. And you really don't want really anybody to like mess with it, or that are haters or stealers, or that will try to sabotage it or take your energy away from it, or even make you feel stupid about it just because they don't understand your idea process. So you're really just kind of, it's a very hush hush more type energy. That doesn't mean you're not talking at all, maybe not. It just might mean that the certain things that are going on in and around you, you're either not really sharing, or you're not sharing with certain people. Because I really do kind of get that you're either uncomfortable and don't want to, or you have learned how to ground yourself right now. And look up, by the way, if you need help grounding. Like, there's grounding meditations, but even there's grounding like yoga ones that they're not super hard to do. Like, most of them you're sitting on a floor and you're either stretching or you're just relaxing, like restorative, like, so it's not hard on the body, and it's not hard to do if you're not like fit and stuff, but it very much grounds you and gets you in your body, just so you know. But it's like, for those of you who have grounded yourselves and you are in that momentum forward kind of movement where you're able to utilize this energy to your benefit. At first, I think it was a little discombobulating. You know, we're not used to it. Someone coming shaking up the mountain. Also, what might also help you too is listening to meditations. Like, there's one that's like a water shaman meditation, or even just water trickling. It for me at least, it works really good getting my body out of that hardness, even my energy out of the hardness, and it helps me flow, right? Because where we're wanting to go for evolution is water is our counterpart. So it helps get us out of our own way and start to move. So that helps too, by the way. Or energy work. So if you need help too, hit me up, and I can help you with that. But I think those of you who are seeing this are like, I don't know. It's just either like people aren't understanding, or you just don't need or want the input from anybody else, or them chanting sabotaging or whatever. Because there does seem to be a lot of like energies. That's the best way I could put it. Like energies around you, either people watching, either whether they want to copy, you know, not to be in lack about that, but whether they're not thinking for anything for themselves, or they want to talk crap about you or negate it for you, or just bring you doubt, you know, because let's face it, Tauruses right now are healing and working into confidence and out of self-doubt and fear. So we don't really need any lower vibes right now to mess up our flow, because we're in this prime opportunity to where, as we're healing and coming out of that and rising up, we have all the energies working for us to where we're trying to go right now. So it's very imperative that you're really watching like your mind, like this. Watch your mind, watch your words, not only with other people, but also with yourself. Because you really got to focus on what you're paying attention to. And chances are it's hard enough for you to like watch out for yourself, let alone other people around you, right? So you're just like, no, like you don't want to deal with that. And what's crossing you is you have the Four of Wands. Oh, it's funny, I didn't notice it was 4 and 4. The Four of Wands and the Four of Cups. And I just really get like here, like that you're building something. You're building this Four of Wands. I mean, it could be something at one time that was stable for you and now you're ignoring it. That is a possibility for some of you. But my initial reaction to this was, I think you're in the process of rebuilding or building something, or really building you, like a new you, a new foundation around you. And just anything really that's, I don't want to say emotional, but kind of, which is crazy because we're trying to go into the opposite of the, you know, the water. But I think you're trying to understand your own watery side, emotional side, while you're building this process and while you're going through all these shifts. that you just probably really don't want to deal with anyone or anything else for the most part, especially not on a deep level like that, unless they're like significant in your life and they're not a burden in that way. I don't think you're just really messing with anything that emotional. I think you're dealing with your own internal emotional stuff at the moment. And it just, you just don't want to deal with it, and it doesn't feel safe right now anyways, dealing with somebody else. Like, you just probably intuitively know that. Like, it's not going to be abundant. It's not going to be good for you. You're doing a lot of internal work and you're rebuilding your foundation. That's really what I get with this. And then while you're rebuilding your foundation, you're just not really dealing with outside emotional stuff. And then as a clarifier to those, I got the dagger. Let me clarify to make sure I'm not missing anything, but I think it was about like betrayal. Yeah, deceit, betrayal, and hidden aggressions. And I think that's just really what you're trying to prevent. I just think you don't want any outside complications or just BS, really. And that's why you're just being very matter of fact, like almost very Queen of Swords energy, but in a little bit more masculine way where you're even more reserved. There's even like less words than the Queen of Swords, you know, like to me the King of Swords is logical like the Queen of Swords, but even less words, you know, because it's masculine. So just really saying what needs to be said and not saying what doesn't need to be said. Yeah, because in your foundation you have the Five of Wands. I think you're already, you know, dealing with your own internal conflict, like I said, that you're working through. So you don't need anything outside of that. But I'm just focusing for a second, so give me a second. I mean, I really think you're working through your own internal struggles. And, you know, there's probably a detoxing and a cleansing period that goes along with that. And I think a lot of people have this energy around them where it's just, it's a fiery energy. And it can be, yes, passionate, but it could be a little competitive, and it could be a little bit painful or like punishing or shame. Like, I just think whoever I'm talking to in this, there is, or you know, there's just not great energies around you, or maybe for a while you haven't kept great energies around you. Maybe even like that you're like, this is your new beginning with the stick, and this is like, I don't know, you say it scourge, I don't know, but like you hit people, kind of like punishment or shame or hurt. Like, I don't know also if some of you are wanting a new beginning, or and you just know this is around you, and you know you don't want to be shamed or guilted or punished or ridiculed, or even to self-sabotage or them sabotage you for letting it out. It's just easier just to do it and go forth and build, and not really, like, you'd rather be farther along before anybody possibly says anything or it even matters. Like I said, I think you just know like what's around you. Like, even if you haven't completely wiped it out yet or say you can't, I think you know, and I just don't think you're really saying much, basically. In your past, you have the Judgment, and you have the Nine of Swords. So maybe that's when you saw all this around you. Maybe some of you had some type of realization or awakening or had to make some type of judgment, but I think you had some type of realization about what not only internally was going on, but, you know, your external as well. You might have even went through like someone like a dark night of the soul, like sleepless nights, you know, just awakening energy too. Whether it was like far recently or recently, it doesn't matter. Like, you saw some stuff. And now what you're really wanting to focus on in the crowning is the Sun and the Queen of Pentacles. Like, you want to be happy again. You want to be more aligned again. You want to feel alive again. The curiosity of a child with the maturity of an adult, of an elder, a hermit even. But I think you're just really wanting this energy and wanting to create it for yourself again. You know, it's like, here's the Sun, you have the coin, in your likely future you have the coin. I think you're really just focusing on you and your values and being happy and bringing that part of you alive again, maybe even your inner child. And that's another part why you really don't want to say anything to anybody, because unless somebody else is on that path, and even some who are, you still have to be careful, because not everybody who's awakened or on that path is A, going to resonate with you, or B, that doesn't mean they still don't have shadow work of enviousness and sabotage and everything to work through. You know, someone who has an awakening or they're awakened, it doesn't mean they're done. It just means that they've somewhat seen through the veil, or that there is a veil and they've had a shift in perspective. What they choose to do with it is up to them. What they choose to do with that power is up to them. So just as an FYI, like, not everybody is going to use that as a positive or a benefit. But I do know right now a lot of Taurus energy is really starting to tap into their inner selves and their creative side and their inner child, basically. And that's a very vulnerable and sensitive part. And I think you're just protecting it like no other, because at one time something made you shut that part down. And you're almost probably even like nurturing it and taking care of it right now. Like, literally like this. I didn't even think about that. Like, that this is what she's holding and nurturing. Not only your new beginning, but your inner child part of you. And until you really get that more solidified, you don't need anybody else to come and speak their mind about who that part of you is and what you're choosing to do with it. This is about you right now. And you're fully protecting it. No, you're fully protecting it and nurturing it and taking care of it. In your likely future, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So again, there it is. There you are. It's the one you're holding. So what you're thinking, basically, you know, you end up manifesting and going for it and doing it. How you see yourself is the Page of Cups. So again, this is your inner child part. This is about learning that emotional part also of you. And what that means is, because it's newer, it's a page, or it's younger, you know, you're working with that younger part that hasn't been worked with in a while. And also, you know, it's a little new. So there's trial and errors. There's just things you haven't done before. You're exploring a different part of yourself. And also, because of that, because you're exploring a different part of yourself, and let's face it, Taurus has worked through a lot of self-doubt, self-sabotage, fears, and all of that stuff. It's not a place that you're as confident in, although you're going to shine, trust me, because it's like actually one of our greatest gifts. When we really tap into that energy, what we do with it. We do amazing things with that energy, especially considering that it just empowers us even more to be able to manifest, and to manifest from that is something that, like, most people want, and even whether they know it or not. So on some hand, it's going to draw people to you because they're like, what are you doing? I love this. And some people are going to hate on you for it. So just, I'm not trying to bring fear in. It's just realistic. So just keep going and take care of yourself through that. But because it's going to be new and we're going to be working through it, and Tauruses like to do what they know, they were at least about a lot about routine and security, it's going to bring up a lot of your fears even more so, which is probably why even more you want to keep people away from you, because you're already going to be working through your own stuff. If you need help with this and aligning to this, please let me know. This is where CCT really comes in amazingly too, especially doing a chart. I did this on myself to align to where I was trying to go when I had an energy that just kept pulling me back and I didn't know why. And it's helped me beyond belief. Like, it's amazing. Like, just my life is changing. I'm not saying that, I'm truly speaking from my heart right now. And it hasn't shown as much on my channel yet. It has in little ways, but only because there's a little bit more I'm getting squared away in myself before I go full on my channel and in person, because I want to be like full rock steady and solid in all ways before I just go. That's just the way I am. I'll do little bits and pieces here and there, but I'm very much about mind, body, soul. And so long in my awakening, I've done a lot of, soul and spirit and mind work, but not as much on the body. And this part of what's going on with me right now is all about my body, not just healing, detoxing, cleansing, working on it, learning on it, which is also making my medical intuitive part of me even stronger, and my healing part and stuff. So, I'm finishing a couple other things up about myself that I'd love to go more on my channel, but it would take time away from me doing that. So I'm trying to do a little bit consistency here, but I am my main priority right now. So the little bits I can come in and out, I will, just as an FYI, but you guys don't see what's going on behind the scenes with me. I mean, just the fact that I've been doing like even yoga every day, and then with my diet, and then the help that's just been coming to me and help with my body, like, it's just crazy. It's literally crazy. And then the stuff that I just don't even bother with anymore and is self-sabotaging with, I just don't even want to. Like, so if you're interested in that, something's holding you back and you don't know how to let it go, you don't know how to align with your future self you're trying to go to, please hit me up about a CCT session or chart. Because I can help you with that. It's worked great for me. But anyways, it's pretty much saying like the direction you're trying to go and your goals, like you're walking that way, you're doing it, like your arrow, your focus, your goals, you're walking that way with your foot. But it is bringing up a little bit of moon energy, which is a little bit of your subconscious, a little bit of your insecurities, a little bit of your fear and the unknown, So you are going to be a little bit more vulnerable, not just because you're trying something new, but let's not forget Uranus is retrograde in our sign, which makes us feel all like electric and shaky, and it's a little scary. So, whatever. But in your environment, you have the Death card and you have the Knight of Pentacles. So something could be coming to an end around you and you're working very slowly at it, slowly ending one cycle and another. So for some of you, that's the case. Some of you could also have either a Scorpio or Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. I really get Virgo a lot with this. So Scorpio, Virgo, placements that honestly, they're just as a side note, I feel like they're watching you. They're observing you. You have owl, and I really got, instead of wisdom with this, like watching. And then I wanted a little more clarification though, and I got the eye, the mushroom, tooth, the moth, and the fish upside down, which really says to me a lot of they are watching you. And it's something, whoever's watching or whatever, it was something that didn't grow very well, but it didn't go well, but it was really hard to extract or get rid of. For some reason, you just kept being drawn to it, but it wasn't abundant. You're just always drawn to it, but it's never abundant. And I just feel like it could be a potential trap. Not that they're even trying to trap you per se, but they are in your environment, and I do think they're watching you. So just know that, and just know they're seeing you change, and they're seeing you want to go away, and they're seeing you not fall into your same stuff anymore. They're seeing you not care as much anymore. Maybe not necessarily about them, maybe, but just in the, because it's more about you now. You're fulfilling that inner part in you, and the more you're fulfilling that inner part in you, the more that those things don't resonate with you anymore, and it doesn't matter. You're not as like dependent on it, but also you're probably healing your wounds where like their energy would attach into anyways. So either way, they're watching, and they're probably the same energy that I got at the bottom of the deck over here, where eventually they may try to come back in because they either don't want you to leave them behind, or they just want to sabotage, or they just don't want you to go because they just want to keep receiving whatever they're going to receive from you. I don't know if in the future they'll give more, but as of right now, it doesn't feel like that type of energy. It feels like they'll try and then go back to what they were doing. So just FYI. How they see you is Nine of Pentacles and Justice. I mean, they see you really working on yourself, really building yourself up, really getting confident, really just making things right and balancing yourself out, and just being more exactly like in the center where the King of Swords was, where, you know, it's just more logical. You know, the Justice card is very much about it's a non-emotional card. It's about making decisions based on facts, you know, not on emotion, not on ego, not on anything like that. You're just very, it is what it is, doing what you have to do. You're just finally getting to that part. Like, you're just now being pushed and doing. They see you just doing what you have to do and aligning and balancing out, and you're just not overly invested, you're not overly involved, you're not overly emotional. You're focusing on you, you're focusing on your abundance, you're focusing on you're more practical, you know, you're just spending time on you and being more logic. There's not an emotional thing here, and they're watching you doing this. Your hopes is the Queen of Cups. So you're hoping to eventually become where you can be more nurturing and be more soft and be more in your intuitive part, but in a soft, giving way. Like, you don't always want to be that way, like how you do have the Scorpio energy in your environment. You know, you are going through a cycle process. It's sort of death and rebirth process. You are in transition. So you do want to get to a point where, you know, you're able to be a little bit more emotional, focus a little bit more on what it is you want after a while outside of you. Like, she's focusing, like, this is her, so it is her, but also outside of you. You're just not at that point yet. Like, you could be building your environment, but I just think a lot of Tauruses know that they've got to rebuild inside first. And just right now is not the time to be like this. You know, in order to get like this, and to know how to listen to your intuition, and to know how to navigate these waters and emotions, you have to go and do some internal work. You know, you've got enough, honestly, emotion going on inside of you right now anyways you're dealing with. So, no. But you do want to get back to this, which is our opposite element. So it makes sense. This is an evolution here. You know? I mean, I get in your thoughts you're wanting to do this and be you, but with the Sun card, I think you're knowing to work on your inner stuff, your inner child, your old stuff, and your play and your curiosity, because it's what's going to lead you here. What is always behind intuition is play. Like, I find inner child is the most connected to intuition, but so is confidence. You know, confidence, which is also the Sun, but confidence, play, curiosity, your inner child, trusting yourself, like all of that is what leads you to good intuition. And honestly makes it easier to navigate your emotions too, because when you just ignore parts of yourself is when your emotions go out of balance. So I think you're working on balancing yourself out, which will then balance your emotions, which will then make you be able to be safe, more emotional, if that makes sense. I think what you fear and what you don't want, is to be just too logical. So you don't want to be like this forever. It's not your nature. You're a very loving sign. And very nurturing of a sign. That's another thing with the Queen of Cups. You do want to get to where you're nurturing again. But you want to do it in a safer, more loving of yourself and respecting of yourself in more of a boundaried kind of way. But you don't always want to be just logical. But I think you also don't want someone around you also who might be a little immature, or maybe even a little too curious themselves. Just really immature, honestly. And then when I asked clarification on that, I got Saturn and I got Poison. So really just this karma, the lessons. Like you don't want the lessons anymore of what's not good for you. So I don't know if somebody else was really carrying this Page of Swords energy where they just really were more logical, but not like an intelligent logical. It's like just not in touch with their feelings either. Just kind of mouthy or rash. Rash? Is that the right word? Tell me about the Page of Swords. Just very immature. Not truly bonded and connected. Will say anything, cut you off, whatever. But just lower vibration and karmic lessons. It's just not good for you. Like you don't want that anymore. In your likely outcome, you have the Seven of Cups. So I do think you have a couple other options to play around with because of this. But it is coming up with an energy of confusion, which is why I think down here too, you have the Moon energy. And I think the reason for that is when I clarified, you have the Shovel, you have Heart, and then you have Wall. I think when you start doing all this and like digging in, and actually really going after also what it is that like you're wanting and doing and focusing on yourself, I think it starts bringing stuff up that maybe has affected your heart, or like maybe a heart block, like there's the Wall, like blocked your heart, blocked your creativity, blocked who you are. Maybe you have to actually decide in that moment, like, even like, who am I really? Because there are so many options. Like, what do I want? Maybe even that's because this person tries to come back. And you have to look at this heart block. It brings up your heart block, or it brings up, who am I really? Maybe, especially if it's for those people, because there are some Tauruses that they really kind of held on to something for a long time, like way too long, and just still pushing through, even if somewhat in the back of their mind, waiting on it. And it's like now, like, do I still want that? But maybe even just seeing the heart block anyways. Let's see if we can pull a little bit more up about this, which, by the way, at the bottom of this deck is Rat and Chalice. And I think for some reason you see what ties you to something. And there's a level of healing that comes along with it, and you're just done and you're at peace. I feel like it's more that you see something and you see a block, and I don't know how. I don't know if it's that this person tries to come back. I mean, everybody's is going to be different. Why is this seen? Tell me why this is seen. I feel like I need another deck. Ah, that's funny. Rat ended up at the top again. I think that's another reason why too. You might see some sides of this person that either you didn't see before, like they didn't do it before, or you're just now like paying attention, right? Because like in the past, you know, you had this, like you saw some stuff and you realized some stuff. They think they're smart though. But, you know, when you're dealing with a Page of Swords energy, they usually, they are a little witty, but they also have a very child and naive like energy too. Like, I don't know if they even realize that you see them as much as you do, to be honest with you. Is this the deck I need? All right, so it says investigate, look closely, ask questions, think before asking. And I kind of think that's what you do if you even interact with them at all. Tell me, what makes this scene, this heart block and seeing it? So partially all this that you're doing, all the unknown, and you pushing forward and trying to push forward also does it. It has falling, the unknown, descent, momentum, change. I want to be a queen, which is what's in your crowning. Starting your sovereignty, declaring freedom, passing a test. I don't know. I think it's having to possibly choose. And do you go into the unknown or do you go into that? Because it is going to be a little uncomfortable with the unknown. It's going to bring up some of your insecurities. But to be honest with you, I mean, probably so to this other situation. And maybe you'll realize that, especially through like what you see and the questions you ask. You are wiser now. And maybe even if this person, whether they do or don't come around, just through you going on this different journey or path, I mean, it's going to force you to see these things about yourself. It's going to force you to see where you're blocked because you're taking the risk to try some new things. I feel like there's something more I'm supposed to hone in on though. I think that's another thing. Okay, I get it. So this person or situation does not see, they still don't see your value, and they still don't know to, you know, conversational sake, treat you like a queen. They have not seen truly who you are yet. And I think that you've grown in how you see yourself and how you see the world. And your confidence and your self-esteem is actually better now. But yet they come back in treating you exactly the same way. They have not grown. they have not realized to treat you differently. And I think you see that. Maybe even you see where that led to where you were insecure or scared or fearful or not able to come from your heart in the first place. I think you kind of have an aha moment. Yeah, because you have wake up, it's your moment. Investigate, look closely, ask questions, think before asking. Set your course, knowing where you wish to go, have a plan, the right direction. Curiosity meets opportunity. Promises that never come to be, empty words, not living in the now. Forget who you are, conditioning falls away, memory no longer defines you. Strange encounters. I just think you see something about yourself and about your past, and where maybe you like didn't see something about yourself or didn't see something about them, or you saw the action. Like now, because you've grown and you actually love and respect yourself and your self-esteem, like because, so let me try to put this in a certain way, because you feel better about yourself and because how you see yourself is better now, it's more obvious and you're more aware of when people treat you other than that. Because I think that's just what's always been around you is, you know, you having people and things around you who didn't see your value, and you were able to keep them there. It wasn't able to be so obvious to you because you really didn't have your own worth or self-esteem too. It just wasn't, you know, that it aligned more frequency aligned more, where now it's like you're doing all this work. Like, I mean, come on, like you're in like Queen of Pentacles, the Sun, the Nine of Pentacles, like you're radiating, right? And you're feeling like you're radiating. And even if you're still struggling through a lot of these energies, like, you know how much work you've done, right? You know how much work you've done, and you know to be proud of that, and how far you've come and how many things you've figured out. And just not to be in a big-headed way, I mean, we're still always humble about it, but now when somebody else comes in and they don't see that and they don't realize that, like they don't have to like lift you up or whatever about it, but they don't see you and they're not on that frequency of you, or they're doing those things to try to pull you back down. It's not gonna fly. And you are gonna realize this about yourself, because as you're pushing through and taking the chance, you know, it's going to show some fears in your heart. But I just think you're going to have like an aha moment about seeing all along of things that just contributed to you. And you're just going to see it. I just think you're going to see it more if you haven't already. Why is it confusing you though? Maybe you have to choose which path to go. Let's pull a card. Why is it confusing though? Because you've either mentally moved on or you need to mentally move on to the calmer waters. Can I get a couple more clarifications on why it's confusing? Yeah. Because part of you might still like want this person or situation in your life. Yeah. And you want to hold on to it. But at least at this point you can't, because like you need to mentally move on from coming together with this and just be in your own energy, but also to go after and keep developing your own inner stuff and what you want. Because like you're just really gonna have to decide like what is it really that you want. Like Do you want to be happy? Or do you want to just have what your mind and your ego always told you wanted? Because, like, I think you're going to come to realize, like, it might confuse you that it may come forward, right? And it might even make you happy at first. And then all of a sudden you're going to become confused because it might actually seem like what you wanted, or, you know, you should be happy about it because it's what your ego and your mind always told you wanted. And you might actually be confused because you're going to be like, why do I not feel as good? Why do I feel worse? Why maybe even am I slipping backwards? Like you have falling here. The unknown, the descent, momentum, change. Like maybe it causes you to fall a little bit from where you were. And you might have to get to that point of realizing, oh God, this doesn't make me happy. This is taking back some of the work I've already done. It doesn't match my vibration anymore. It's not actually like good for me. And you've done a lot of work and you're literally backtracking. And that's kind of what's confusing, is those parts of you. So again, hit me up for a CCT session or other work, but honestly CCT would be the best for this. Those other parts of you aren't aligning. You're starting to see that cognitive dissonance hitting more, and you're starting to see more of like that block, you know, where it's almost like it was creating a heart block because it was something that you really wanted, but it wasn't good for you, and it was hurting you. Because it's really actually not what you want. It's not what your true, genuine inner child person wants. And what it wants to do is come and shine and have fun and play and create and be treated, you know, like the valuable person they are, king or queen, if you want to say that. And you're starting to find this part of yourself. And I think there's another part of your mind that was like, yeah, I want to have that, and either bring this person along, or once I have that, this person will finally see me. And I think what's confusing to you is that that didn't happen, or it's not going to happen. Like that person's not going to see you. I don't know if ever, but they're not going to see you. And I hope you guys don't stop if that happens. I hope you realize that this is for you at the end of the day. And also, you know, you'll align with somebody else who is way better. Either they'll have to do some work and come back later, or it'll be somebody else who's more aligned with your energies. But I just don't think it's gonna, I think you're gonna be confused because it's not gonna make you happy, and it's not gonna be what your mind has always told you that it was and what you wanted it to be. Like, kind of like, I'll be happy when, you know, and maybe the universe brings it to you, or something of the sort, somebody like them or them, and you're just like, this isn't at all what I thought it was gonna be. Maybe even confused to who you are. Like when you have to release that energy, it's like, well, who am I? What do I want? What do I want to go after? And maybe it does bring you some confusion or doubting who you are. And that's okay. It leaves a blank slate to where now you can fill it. So make sure you fill it, but with positive and creative things of who you are. Because I mean, it's pretty clear as day, although that was part of your path and you learned from it, it's not who you are. And I would want, at the end of the day, even if my ego was mad about it, I would rather remove something from me or my energy or my subconscious that is not truly and genuinely who I am. Because if you kept it there anyways, it means you'll never be happy anyways. You know, so why would you want it there? Like, have enough faith to be willing to let it go on a new path, which I think is what this, as your guides, like fairy energy, really wanted to come up and work with you guys and guide you on what these are really trying to say, where this is like a whole ball of energy that is available to you right now. And it's really saying, like, be careful where you're putting your intentions and where you're putting your actions and all of that. And this to me has very much like a Fool energy, like the Fool card energy. And it's funny too, because it's like a ball, and then he has a ball there, and he's like it's almost like walking off the cliff. That it's telling you, like, you could do great things with what's available to you right now. But you are going to have to take some chances. You are going to have to, like, leave some stuff behind. Let's see if there's any particular keywords. Wild energy, pure potential. Encourages you to be especially attentive to what you're doing with your energy and intentions. Don't get carried away by its enthusiasm, but do take advantage of the energy. You can accomplish a great deal with the energy being made available to you. This is a good time. Note that the Ra is not grounded and is not meant to be, but humans need to keep their feet firmly on the earth. When you encounter the Ra, I don't know if I'm saying that right, breathe slowly, center, earth yourself, be clear about your objectives, and then go for them. And then you have 15. The Journeyman. It's about adventure, independence, polishing of skills, and travel. A long path ahead, we hope. It speaks of the need to perfect skills in working and living, but it acknowledges having a sound grounding in the basics. Optimistic, innocent, and willing to learn. It also shows us that intuition serves us well, but only if we pay attention to it. Sometimes we are operating from theory alone, and our knowledge may or may not be well grounded in reality. This card does not necessarily refer exclusively to beginnings. It can also signify a progression along a path, moving into the unknown from the known, a new phase in an ongoing process. This card may also represent untested concepts or ideas and suggest a need for balance between the intuitive and the rational as one approaches the unknown. Consider where you are going. What are your long-term goals? What are you doing that is helping you move towards them? Walking trustfully into a situation you may not be fully prepared for. So on one hand, if for the people who is like, it's for like, oh, all the options, what do I really want? If that's really like you, and now you don't know what to choose because there's so many things being brought to you, just really go with your intuition and logic. Like, it really does help to see when things come at you like this, like, what is your long-term goals? Not instant gratification. Don't get swept up in all the stuff of it. What is it that you really want long-term? And what action is going to get you there? And if you have things around you, people around you, or actions that you're doing that do not align you to those long-term goals, for the most part, you shouldn't be doing them. And that includes this person or situation coming in if it's not part of your long-term goal, or can't play a part in that, or respect that, or uplift you to go towards that. And I don't think it is. I mean, at least from the past, it's like it hasn't worked for you. Let's see something. Tell me about what may happen in the environment. Yeah, it's just kind of deceptive. You have 10 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords. And it'll just It'll just get you stuck all over again. I really think this, and you'll know what it is, whoever it applies to, situation or person, it's just going to get you stuck all over again. You're going to backtrack. And, you know, you do very much have the test thing. Yeah, it's telling you to go within, align and move forward, and own your power. Have your will, have your discipline, you know, like you know what to do. And just keep working on it, because the more you work on it, the more your self-esteem gets built, and the more you're going to get to a point, to be honest with you, if you're not already, where you don't even want that. You just don't. And you're going to want to go on a new adventure. It might be a little confusing to you at first, because it might be really apparent that that's going to hurt you, or that you don't want it, or it's not in alignment with you. And then you might be a little bit like, well, damn, what am I going to go towards now? Just keep doing what you were doing. You know, fill it with like good things and good activities, and just keep going. Like things will align, and you're leaving more room and opportunity for you to shine through. And that's what you're really wanting to go towards anyways. Remember, you have your inner child here, and you have your inner child here. This person or situation in your environment that is saying about coming in or a test, they're not going to help you align you to your inner child. They will wound your inner child. They'll berate you for even doing that, and they'll make you shut back down, or it's just not going to be good. So it's not safe. It's literally that karmic, it's like that type of karmic test that it's the same energy that wounded your inner child in the first place. Okay, so that's how you get to this. It's going to show you the heart block. It's going to show you what wounded your inner child, or at least one of the biggest energies of it. Because this energy in your environment is one of, or representing one of the biggest things that wounded your heart and your inner child. And I think you're going to see that. So that makes more sense now. Oh, that's like that. And I still don't know. I think maybe that's what confuses you. Or maybe it's not even just, I mean, it's confusing for a minute because I think it doesn't line up. But I think, and it makes you feel not good about yourself. Yeah, like you have a realization. But I think because it makes you like this, I think it brings you here. Because you just see how much it really affects your energy. And it's not really you. It was during a time when you were younger and you really knew who you were, like you were in your child, but you really didn't know who you were. And you were just trying to figure the world out. And so then it just became something that the wound created that part of your ego that now was like, oh, I must chase this, I must have this, blah, blah, blah. And maybe that part of you lines up where it's like, I don't want to align with that. No. Let's see if there's anything else. Well, unicorn card. I think we'll be done. Just keep going. It's really come up. It was the same for my last one too. Just, it is probably going to be difficult, but please just keep going the course. Keep doing what you've been doing. And don't let this universe bringing in this manifestation or this person watching you to stop you. Let's Yeah, you got a lot of grounding stuff. Nature, ground yourself, find a sanctuary in nature, connect with the elementals. You got a lot of stuff about grounding in this reading. Make sure you really work on grounding yourself. Past lives. Release your past life karma. You are an old soul with deep wisdom. Healing your past lives will raise your vibration. And I think that's that karma over there. I think this person might be part of your karma. And for you to just, boop, you know, do it in a healing, loving, compassionate way, but just be done with it. Patience. Pause before you take action. Trust the divine timing in his work. Be patient and play while you wait. And then you have adventure, which is exactly what's up here with the fairy energy. Dare to do things differently. Manifest your travel dreams. Move into a new location. Do it differently. Maybe go against what that part of you is telling you to do. I mean, unless it's telling you to do something different. Don't just do not what you normally do. You have receive prosperity and balance. It will balance you out and bring so many magical energies right now. Just take that chance. Do what you know you should do anyways. Go on that path of that new journey of continuing to find who you are and working on yourself and not letting someone distract you or take your time or tell you anything other than what you're magically believing right now. I mean, if you have to, talk to someone else you trust and see, because you may need to ground yourself, but there are so many beautiful and amazing things that are available to you. And just keep going. I just feel like there's somebody lurking, somebody or something that can mess up your mojo or confuse you. And it's just kind of time for you to decide whether you're ready for a new path, even if it's uncomfortable and finding parts about yourself, which I feel like there's so much magic and abundance in, or whether you want to like just go on the same road you've already done, even if you think it's going to be different. It's like probably not, and even if it is, it's not going to be anywhere near what you can experience on the other road. And I just think it's like it's time for you, and it's in this lifetime for you to be brave enough to choose that, and to choose loving yourself enough to choose that, and saying, I will give this to myself. Whatever it is that you wanted from that person or situation, that the karmic test is that you realize you can't get it from them anyways. You'll never be able to. They will reinforce all your wounds and all your illusions. And that you have enough courage to stop it and look in the face and realize you are better than that. It was an illusion, and that you know you have the power within you and within your stuff above, your guide, source, whatever, that you can not only get what this person never gave you that you wanted from them, but you can get more. And it's about knowing that and having faith on that, but also going the road of doing the work to find that, which means building that relationship with you and your guides and finding that part of yourself, doing the work to do it. Most people, when they keep wanting to revert back to a situation or person like this, it's a little bit of an entitlement energy. They want the easy button to feeling good again. And that just never works. There really is no easy button to that. And also, that's what this person's hoping on, is the weakness on that part, the entitlement, the you not being and knowing who you truly are and being sufficient within yourself, which is what they see you building right now. I don't know if that's why they're coming to stop it, because then you won't be dependent on them. I don't know. They could even have honest intentions and be like, oh, look, now they are good. I don't know. Maybe I could be with them. They're my level now. I don't know. And they just carry a low vibration. But either way, as of right now, it's not going to bring you what you want. It's going to lower you. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it over and over again. I feel like I want to cycle, and I'm not going to. I do that all the time. So I love you guys. If you need help with this, let me know. Keep going. Keep going through these energies. We're all going to come out the other side and be better off for it. It actually is like beautiful energy once you get past like the scariness of it. There's so many, manifestations high, and there's so many things helping. So if you need help though, let me know. Donations, email below. Services, donations in the description box below. Is the email or the PayPal link. Services in the description box below, but I also have the shamanic services, CCT, light language for descriptions. It's in the beginning of the video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Especially like and comment on the video, and make sure you're subscribed. But it takes 2 seconds, and it means a lot to me, and it gives back for my effort, and it also helps circulate the video and the channel for other people who need to hear the message, okay? So I love you guys. I hope you're well. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll be seeing and talking to you soon. Bye.